how to build a disruptive product in a startup or anywhere, as a matter of fact. So why do we need a disruptive product? So basically today I think most of the managers, entrepreneurs, people, they are into sustainable innovation, which means like they have existing product, they just want to enhance, they just want to keep working with that, and they just want to bring new features into that so that the customers are aligned with the product. But time has changed, right? Every day, every new day, if you open your newspaper, you will see company or startup XYZ got funded for some specific very specific service that they are providing. What's that? So people are disrupting today in the market. So disruption is required, right? No, that is why nowadays most of the companies have started looking into your innovative strategies to move to a market where either there is no competition or there is a very less competition, or you can say that the customers in that region are not very happy. So you want to provide them some product which would take that happiness level little upward and create a new set of customers. So let's take an example, right? Common Floor, I think all of you know, right? So one common example I just want to give right now. So when Common Floor came into picture, right? I mean, they are like like any listing site, they wanted to just list and connect to people. They pretty soon moved out from there to property management. Then they started connecting people in a social way, in the same building, same apartment, also to their needs, to nearby restaurant, all those stuff. And slowly they grow into now, if you look into the ads, I don't know how many of you know about it, they are doing a 360-degree view they have launched a product, Retina, right, which you don't have to go to an apartment to view the apartment, right? You can just, so this is actually very simple product where you keep a phone and it creates a 3D view for you, and you can just, if you look up, you'll see the ceiling, if you look down, you'll see the floor, look here, you'll see wall, look there, you'll see. So this is what they have done, so what they have done is like, now think about the people who cannot go because of time, right, who are working, can't go to look into the, or to look for apartment, to search for apartment day in, day out. I think they have solved the problem for them, right? They can just be at their home, they can just do a 360-degree view, they can take a decision based on that. So what have they done here, right? So they have created a new market, right? They have created a new market for them. Need is there, right? Okay, taking that example, let's look into it, right? Facebook, right? It's a very huge place, right, for everything. So you can chat, you can do a status update, you can post your picture. But yeah, what has happened then? The WhatsApp, that become popular very quickly. Instagram, very popular among its own set of consumer. Each one of the product, each one of the startup, if you look at it, or the companies, if you look at it, though they are acquired by Facebook, but what they exactly did was, they looked at the bigger product, right? They started looking into the smaller loopholes into the entire product and started catering to only those specific needs. For example, only photo sharing or only photo posting, that's Instagram, right? Chatting, that's your WhatsApp. So what's next, right? Updates, stay in touch. There are a lot of apps that are coming up. You don't know who will get acquired and who will get bigger. So let's actually look at like what is the key to build a disruptive product, right? So basically all I'm trying to say, if you fall in love with a solution, you will never be able to cater to a customer base, because if you don't modify, if you don't change your approach, if you don't come with a solution which actually solves the problem, there's no point creating a product, right? So rather than saying that, okay, this is my solution, wow, this is going to change the world, this is going to disrupt, no, I mean that's never going to happen. If you are solving the actual problem, as you said, right? I mean someone picked the problem. If you are solving actual need, if you are solving actual problem, and for that you have to fall in love with the problem, right? You have to understand the problem. You can't simply just say that, okay, this is my solution, you take it or leave it. No, this approach doesn't work anymore, right? You just have to take a problem, understand why the problem is there, then innovate around it, then come with a product, then you test the product, right? Okay, there's something called inventors dilemma. Most of the companies, they're afraid to start or to get into a disruptive technology. Why? The reason is, if they start, they create the market, right? There are a lot of people who are looking at that market that is getting created. They quickly come with a new product, the same product, they start selling. And this is what is inventor's dilemma. All I'm trying to say is, like, disruptive product need not to be very complex. It can be as simpler as this one, cheaper, simpler, smaller, convenient. Because trust me guys, any product that you create, that you plan to make disruptive, right? That's going to be, that is not going to be market ready ever. You will always have to, revisit your strategy. You'll always have to change your policies. You'll always have to, restructure your product or redesign your product to change according to what the market actually needs, right? So, the whole point is, don't worry about the end product. Almost all the disruptive products are half baked.